Yeah, I don't know what it is.
And chunks of that started falling. So they decided they were going to build it.
A few minutes past 7, it's time to open our meeting for the evening. Tonight we have 1 continued hearing and 3 new hearings. And before we get into our hearings, we need to find out if I have anything to sign for you or any other business. Okay, let's finish our hearings and then we'll take a look at the minutes if we're still coherent. So we have, we're missing so far Janice and Dan. Dan won't be here. Janice said she might. It's according to my watch, it's 5 past 7. Let's reopen the Johnson hearing that we continued last week, continued from last month. Here's Janice. And I think that we left the homework assignment on your shoulders. As I recall, when we left it last time, you were going to explore with the owner the possibility of some kind of a pervious driveway and downspouts with dry wells.
That's correct. And we made modifications to the plan for both of those items. So the plan has a gravel driveway and downspouts with a roof drain system into an infiltration area underground.
Yeah, down.
So you believe in your best judgment that you've taken care of any potential runoff issues? That was the concern that was raised last time.
That is correct. We've taken care of that. Yes, and the roof drains have been sized,
Okay. Are there any questions for Jamie from board members? I see we have the audience here. I assume you folks are here because of the Rustic Drive petition. Are there questions or issues that any of you would like to raise? There was a gentleman who approached a few minutes ago that wanted to say something.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had written something up, and the wife could read it. Or...
I'm sorry, sir?
We had written a thing up, and we couldn't get the printer broke.
Well, I'm not going to accept anything unless it's in hard copy that we can put in our folder. I mean, if I read, I could read that, and then you could go back and change a word.
Okay.
And that doesn't work for anybody, particularly in a court of law.
All right, let me see if I can print it out.
Anybody wish to speak for or against the petition? As we left it last time, I believe there were some issues that were raised. The ones that I thought were key were the runoff and the drainage issue and the driveway issue. And I believe the engineer with the owner has remedied those in the design.
Correct.
Okay.
To speak. We had an issue with the ask about the deck extension off the back, which is like looking at our deck on 2 Ivy Lane. It would be a deck to a deck. We have the back. The back is close, very close to us, and then in addition there was an extension to that, which is an overhanging deck. We asked if possibly a patio could be put there instead of an overhanging deck. It was very intrusive for privacy. Right now the house is 60 feet away. It's now going to be 20 feet away.
According to the plans that have been submitted to us and we're looking at, the deck conforms to the setback requirement in the bylaws. It's a little bit more than 20 feet, and the setback requirement is 20 feet.
Is that from the deck to the end?
Yes.
Or is that from the house to the end? You know, what's difficult...
From the deck to the property line, unless I'm misreading this, Jamie.
No, that's correct.
Okay, so what is it? What's the distance? Is it 20 and a half feet?
20 feet.
20.3 feet.
20.3 feet, so it's 20 feet and 4 inches, essentially.
From the deck...
You want to take a look at the plan?
You know, I tried to look at the plan. The plans, the figures on those plans are so small. And when I tried to mark...
I'll say it one more time.
Thank you. I would love to. Thank you.
Sorry.
That's
No
all
need
right.
to be-
There's the deck right there.
Okay, it's just hard to see it.
And there's the distance from the deck.
Well, see, now when I read that, I read 20 feet from here
No,
to
'cause
here.
that's your arrow ends right there.
Okay, so that's 30 From here to here?
Yeah, with
Okay.
the deck on, then it's over 30
So then you
feet.
got 30, okay. Okay. All right, so that conforms, so I don't have a thing to say. But it'd be nice to be able to have this size plan available, or a projection or something, because it's very difficult to see.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yep. Anything else? The gentleman that ran off with the laptop, what were the issues he was
Well,
raising?
one of them was the deck. And the other was, speaking as a voice from the last meeting, that, you know, one of the, oh, I wish I could.
Let me interrupt for a minute,
Yeah,
just,
go ahead.
while you're looking, just to make a point. I'm required to point out that Kathy and I are making audio recordings, and Lake Cam is making a video recording for our cable system. So I'll ask if anybody here is making an audio recording. Good, seeing that comply with the law. What were the issues?
Well, I just said, given the overwhelming number of concerns that were voiced at the last meeting about the size of the home, we were asking if it's at all possible to scale it back, which I don't suppose it is at this point. But according to special permit criteria 7.4.11, it does not seem to be socially desirable, in quotes, which is what that criteria says, placed as it is now, at least the majority of the neighbors that we heard who were attending the meeting, and certainly not us. You know, this new home's being built upon, it's not being built upon the existing foundation of the camp.
I think if I could address that, I think that I'm fairly sure that replacing what is essentially a shack with a home that is habitable would be considered socially desirable. You may not like the looks of the house, but the zoning board doesn't concern itself with aesthetics.
I know, but there was a whole room full of people that expressed their concerns about the size of it, given the neighborhood, and that's what I was expressing here.
Okay, what else?
You know, that according to 7.4.1.3, there's no reasonable alternative to accomplish this goal that they have for building a two-story home, two-bedroom. And again, I wanted to revisit why the existing footprint was no longer an alternative, a reasonable alternative to that.
Jamie, can you address the footprint issue?
Specifically,
The footprint of the new house is about 10% larger than the original?
it's 660, you're saying just the footprint of the,
Right. I'm working from memory and I don't remember.
that makes two of us. Let's see if I have the assessor's information.
30 square feet, which is about the same. It's in the assessor, it's towards the back.
Yeah.
So could someone tell me the whole square footage of the house? I couldn't read the plans.
Yeah, this says,
It's 22 feet by 30 feet.
Times two.
So it's about 660 square feet.
the assessors have the existing building gross area at 513.
So we've gone from 513 to 660, is that right?
That sounds correct. Based on the assessor's information.
So what's that, a 20% increase?
And I had 361 on the the tax assessment that I had.
Yes, I think that's the gross living area. It says the gross, let me flip back to the page. The gross area.
The living area is the finished portion, the gross area is the entire structure itself.
Yeah, the footprint.
The footprint. So, but she is right, 361 is the living area of the existing, according to the assessor's record.
And that will increase to what now?
It's 30 by 22, so that'd be 660
On 2
on 2 floors.
But that's not the living area, that's the gross area.
That's the gross
That's
area.
the footprint, that's the area that won't see any rain.
Well, does that include the front and back deck then, or?
No.
So it is the living area? I'm
It
sorry.
is the
I'm
living
very
area.
confused right now. I'm feeling like.
Sounds like a
it's,
living area.
Sounds like a living area. It's going from 361 to 660, which is supposed to double. More than that.
Where are the board members on this?
I have no problem with it.
I remember us going over all of this and the concerns of the neighbors about the size, but I thought we addressed all that, and I thought the major concern was the drainage that Jamie addressed tonight. We felt that, I think this board, I can't speak for everybody, but we felt that this was an improvement to what was there, and it would improve the neighborhood, and I'm not against this.
I did have a note, if I may, regarding pine trees, where the concerned neighbor was the third issue, but you're right, the first two are drainage.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us to address the pine trees would be a friendly request. We don't really have authority over pine trees, as you know.
And we've mentioned it to the owner, so.
I think with the windstorms we've had recently, I think taking down pine trees is a smart thing to do, truly.
They're coming down because of the septic and the new construction? They'll all come down?
Well, one of the abutters asked us to take down the pine trees near their property, and I've mentioned it to the owner, so I can't commit whether they're going to or not.
Pine trees are on this.
On this property, yep.
So they own the pine trees,
From what I've been informed, yes.
Okay.
Excuse me, that was us, because a tree had gone right through our window, and we did not go, we went through our insurance the first time, we were like, not to.
Just so I'm clear, so you want them to take down the pine trees but not build a house, is that right?
I'm sorry, sir, but if you had the size home that we have there, and you had a 2-story home with a deck going up next to you in an area that does.
May I ask a question, please?
Yes.
My question was, you want them to take down the pine trees but not build a house? Is that what you
If
want?
they're going to be building a house, they're going to be disturbing the land, and I'm afraid of the roots. We've had one tree go down right through the window. We've done a roof replacement and a storm window skylight, huge skylight replacement, and would like not to do it again.
I agree with you. I think the pine trees should come down. In my house, I think I took about 30 pine trees down. It's one of the smartest things I've done, and I'm not a smart person. I thoroughly agree with you, but I'm looking at the contrast and requests. Don't build a house, but take the trees down.
Because of the proximity, if they were building on the existing footprint, sir, it would be in the front. It would be 60 feet from us. They are now building 20 feet from us, 30, with a deck that's, so we are losing quite a bit of privacy, and will be definitely overshadowed by the home.
Where is the...
Did you have a chance to drive by here, may I ask?
I might be wrong on this, but do we govern going up? Can we, because it blocks someone's view or whatever?
I beg your pardon?
Do we govern someone building up? No, I didn't think so.
No, but we
I'm sorry,
do...
we can't hear the questions.
It's for breakfast.
Jamie, are you building, does your plan show, my eyes are getting
The existing structure,
weak with age. Where's the original house?
it's in this vicinity right here. You can kind of see it shadowed, house to be raised.
Oh, got it, okay. Yeah, my eyes are getting bad. So you're moving the house back 30 feet?
Yes, approximately.
Yeah, okay. But still conforming with the bylaw. You're no closer to that left-hand property line than the existing house.
Yes,
And the rear of the deck, the back of the deck is slightly more than 20 feet, so you can conform to the setback margin.
yes.
Who would care to make a motion on this petition? Would somebody please make a motion to...
I wasn't at the last meeting, so I shouldn't do it. So go ahead.
Approve or deny, one or the other?
Approve or submit, James.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request for the special permit.
I'm sorry, Dave, I didn't hear you, what you just said.
You made a motion to approve?
The special permit.
With restrictions?
No restrictions.
Dave has made a motion to approve the request for special permit with no restrictions. Is there a second?
I'll second.
No restriction, no two-bedroom?
I'll second that. I think the bedrooms are determined by the
Board of Health.
Yeah.
Not by us.
We have a motion made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please.
Aye.
Yeah, right. Excuse me, so was the motion made without a two-bedroom restriction?
We're done?
I'm sorry, can you not, is there a, we did not ask for this.
Ma'am, the Board of Health puts the two-bedroom restriction on it.
It's not zoning.
Thank you. Thank you. You don't know how these things go.
Bye,
Good
James.
night. Thank you. Jamie, you know the routine. You know the routine.
I do.
It's me, okay. That's good, because I don't. Okay, it's 7:20. We will open the Kellohor hearing. The Lakeville Zoning Board of Appeals, acting in accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 48 as amended, will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, April 16, 2019 at 7 p.m. in the Lakeville Public Library for Precinct Street upon the petition of Robert Kellohor. He is requesting a special permit under Section 6.3.2 and 7.4 to construct an 8x10 utility shed within the side setback in support of a mandated on-site septic system as provided by the Lakeville bylaws. The property is located at 350 Bedford Street, owned by Lakeside Landing Incorporated. And I understand that the shed is already built.
That's correct.
So what are you going to do if we say no?
I'll probably let Walter speak to the issues related with equipment. Obviously, if you've known that Lakeville had this 6.3.2 been earlier, because the infrastructure that is installed in that is significant. It's a building, it's a small shed, but it houses electrical services larger than your home, pump controllers, 55-gallon drums of soluble carbon that can inject into the system, as well as a large air compressor that runs 24/7, 365.
I hope with a backup. I said I hope with a backup. That compressor, it's got to run 24/7.
Yeah.
Then you can't afford downtime.
Well, the way that the treatment train works, it runs continuously, but if it were to be down for a few days, it wouldn't kill it. No.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, so it's completely constructed. At this point, we had stopped because we had already notified the power company to drop the service. So our next point is to put a power in and then test the infrastructure that's installed.
I see memos to us from the Board of Health and the planning board. The abutter to the properties in town of Lakeville, have you responded?
I haven't heard from you. We have an April 4th. Well, I mean, it's their job to respond to us. We have an April 4th memo from the Board of Health. Board of Health has reviewed the petition for the 8x10 utility shed at 350 Bedford Street. It's our recommendation the utility shed, which will house the lower proposed microfast septic system, be approved in the location designated on the septic system plan. The septic system plan was approved by the Board of Health on August 15th. It says August 15, 2018, so this has apparently been in the works for a while.
That's correct. It took over a year per design plan.
We have an April 12th memo from the Planning Board at their Thursday, April 11th meeting. The Planning Board reviewed the petition for hearing. The Board has no comments. We have a memo from the Conservation Commission. They've reviewed the request for an 8x10 utility shed at the reference site and find no concerns. So we're not hearing any opposition or objection from anybody in town so far.
Yeah, all the boards that we just listed, the plan was presented to them in the permitting process as it was. So that was part of our understanding. We just assumed that it was permitted by that process.
And the concern is the shed is in the side yard, is that right?
It's 8 feet off the property line. The plan showed 5. We put it 8 just to improve the grading a little bit.
I see it here, yeah.
Yeah, so the setback would be 40, the conforming setback would be 40. 40 would put us into the parking lot, which would do a couple of things. It would lose parking. The infrastructure has all been designed so that anything that has to be above ground is in an area, in a small green area that was existing, so that we don't cause us to lose any parking.
Is there anything else on that side of the property?
As far as
Any construction, any buildings, any sheds?
just there's 2 sheds opposite in the Lakeville Town Hall property, directly opposite in our plan.
I personally can't see a thing wrong with this, with the request at all.
The shed is
Here's here.
Lakeville has a shed here and a shed here.
Is this shed that horribly dilapidated garage? Is that
There's
what
2 of them, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if I may? Got a couple photos.
So, obviously this is our facility here, and these are the 2 on the town hall property.
Looks good. Anybody present
I've
wish
seen
to
it.
speak for or against this
I haven't
proposal,
looked at it.
this request?
Make a motion to accept the proposal as submitted.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, I'll second.
I'll second.
That's it.
Well, you can
We're
beat me
fighting, we're
up.
fighting over second here.
A motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please.
All right.
All right. That was quick.
Thank you very much.
You know, we came real close to telling you no. Then you would have really been in trouble.
I approach and thank you, and the chiropractor's patients are going to be happy tomorrow.
Who's going to be happy?
The chiropractor's patients.
I agree with
A
you.
long walk from the street to his office for the past 3 or 4 months.
I
We thank you
agree
very
with you
much.
because I saw
Excuse
an
me?
elderly person with a walker trying to go clean across that whole parking lot
3 feet at a time stopped to try to make that.
That bothered me more than anything else. More than anything else, because I am of their age.
Me too.
Good night. It is 7:30. Let's open the Rogers hearing. Who is speaking?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Tim Andrews.
So let me read the public announcement.
Sorry.
The Lakeville Zoning Board of Appeals, acting in accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 48, as amended, will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, April 16, 2019, at 7 p.m. in the Lakeville Public Library for Precinct Street upon the petition of Patrick Rogers. He's requesting a special permit under Sections 6.1.3 and 7.4 to construct an 18 by 15-foot family room addition within the setback on a pre-existing non-conforming dwelling located on a pre-existing non-conforming lot as provided by the Lakeville bylaw. The property site is 47 Nelson Shore Road. Yes, sir.
I'm Tim Andrews. I'm going to be try to talk for Pat. He had to have a...
How is his knee?
His knee is, he said, just got out of surgery less than half an hour ago, so hopefully it's good. So I'm going to try and talk for him.
Okay.
This is Stephanie, his wife. Basically, I took a couple of pictures.
He's squaring off a deck?
He's putting a room
Is
in the deck.
a deck there now?
The deck is there.
So he's putting a room where a deck currently is.
Yes, he's putting a room where the deck currently is.
I presume that means taking the deck down
Correct.
and putting a proper foundation on it.
Correct.
He's not going to be any closer to the property lines.
No. It's the exact.
It's not going to be any higher than the existing house.
Correct.
Is this going to be an extra bedroom in the house?
It's going to be a family room, I believe, that they have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old boy that are very rambunctious, and they need more space.
She does.
They tear my house up.
Anybody present wish to speak for or against? Board members, comments, questions?
Of course, the setbacks already are established.
Right. No, it doesn't infringe on anything except that they have to come for a special permit because it's a small lot. And so let's just run briefly through a few things here. It's not noxious, harmful, or hazardous, is socially and economically desirable, meet an existing need. The advantages of the proposed use outweigh any detrimental effects. The applicant has no reasonable alternative available to accomplish this purpose in a manner more compatible with the character of the immediate neighborhood. I mean, I can't see that it runs afoul of any of those concerns. David, what do you think? Joe?
Looks fine to me.
The only restriction that how many bedrooms are in the house? 3? The only restriction I put on is it remains a 3-bedroom house.
I don't think we should. I think it should be up to the Board of Health.
Well,
It doesn't hurt us to put that on.
we have nothing from the Board of Health on this one.
I don't think we had anything from anybody in this.
Yeah, we got a couple, but not from the Board of Health.
What is the septic now?
Board of Health already has size septic there.
The planning board has no comment.
I really feel like the Board of Health, and we put the restrictions on it.
There was something here. Hang on.
That's my opinion, no, David, No, I mean, we just, it's just us.
The Concom said no site plan was provided, no determination can be made.
So half the house existing is on sonotubes, and you're gonna put a foundation in for this side, correct?
Yes.
All right.
This is going to be a foundation. Yeah, half of it, I believe, is on sonotubes.
And you'll be able to shore up that existing?
Yes.
Right. So it's gonna make it better,
From
right?
what I understand and from what I've seen, there's a huge pad, and yeah, definitely gonna make it better.
All right. I think it's better. Increases the value of the neighborhood.
I think our building inspector will have the same questions you will, and I have every confidence that he'll look at those.
No, I'm just making a comment.
Any,
Adam there, so. Just like.
did you make a motion?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, make a motion.
on,
And then you don't have to put the
It's your
restriction
turn.
on it. Go for it. Come on.
I don't want to
We're
go
waiting
over
for you.
Dave.
Don't keep us there forever, Jenny. Make a motion. Say, as applied for, that's all you need.
Come on, Janice. I'll make
Okay,
it
as
happen.
applied for, I think we should approve this.
Second.
You made a motion with no restrictions?
No restrictions.
And
I
John has
seconded
seconded. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please.
Aye.
Aye, none opposed. Go for it.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with the knee. My recommendation is to your husband
Try to
is
pull it through the door. She can't.
go to physical therapy and do the exercises. I had mine done 2 years ago, and it's the best part of my body.
Really?
Well, he is a big Dave.
That's
still on
camera?
They're 6'4", baby.
Happening.
Thank you.
I've had 2 total knees.
Is this yours?
2 knees?
2 total knees.
Wow.
Best thing I ever
I
did.
hope you don't have to go for a third one.
Well, I might be in for a hip, I don't know.
I like the progress we're making tonight. Joe, you're here.
I am.
Just here for the amusement?
For entertainment. My wife's had 2 new knees in 7 months, and she couldn't be happier.
Done where? Done where?
The Kaplan Joint Center at Newton Mosley.
Oh.
And there are people out there who have had 3 or 4 because after 15, 20 years, they beat the replacement to death too.
It's 7:35. Let's open our final hearing. This is the Paula Hool hearing. Did I pronounce it right? The Lakeville Zoning Board of Appeals, acting in accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 48 as amended, will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, April 16, 2019 at 7 p.m. in the Lakeville Public Library for Precinct Street upon the petition of Paula S. Hool. She is requesting a special permit to place a temporary carport structure within the setbacks as provided by the Lakeville bylaws. The property is located at 23 Twin Oaks Road. We have a memo from the Board of Health dated April 4th. It says the Board of Health has reviewed the petition for a temporary carport at 23 Twin Oaks Road. It is the recommendation of the Board of Health that approval of the petition be held off until an H20 septic tank is installed or modifications are made to meet the minimum H20 loading as provided. We also request that a restriction be placed that mandates the structure must be temporary and that it can be unbolted and moved by several people. We have an April 12th memo from the Planning Board who makes no comments regarding the above petition. And somewhere, bear with me, we had one other information. This is from the Concom. 2 areas of concern are noted. The extent of the stone wall realignment is not specified. Will the floor remain gravel or will there be a poured concrete slab? Also, no map of the site relative to the pond was submitted. Since the work area is in the buffer zone, it is my opinion that a request for determination of applicability be submitted. This is from Mr. Bouchard, who's the conservation agent. So let's get into what it is that you want to do, sir.
Good evening. My name is David Fredette, and I'm representing my client, Paula Hool. On the previous time that we appeared before this board, the design we had submitted was for a permanent structure, and the Board of Health basically nixed that and highly recommended that we go to a temporary structure that would not have the same kind of restrictions. To that end, Mrs. Hool went to talk to the folks at
Carport Inc.
His name, no, the company, Carport.
Oh, TNT.
Yeah, that's the company that makes it, but Classic Cars. Yeah, Classic Cars, the owner of the Classic Cars business in Seacon is a representative of TNT Carports. And TNT is, I guess, one of the nationwide companies that manufactures these carports, including the engineered design and stamped approvals and all that stuff that meets all the codes. We've already been to talk with Nate Dowling about this, and he said basically we needed to start here because we still don't meet the zoning requirements or the offsets, but we have improved it. If you look at the design now, instead of a 1 foot setback, we've achieved a 3.2 foot setback at one corner and 4.4 foot setback from the street line at the other corner. The only reason it's different is because we're trying to keep the carport in line with the wall that's existing, and it's not necessarily parallel to the street front line. If you'll note that the current drawing shows the proposed stone wall being relocated in order to square it off, because right now there's an angle. In fact, if you look carefully, you can see the existing in the shade, in the stippled area there, that's the actual existing angle, and we're trying to get it so the carport fits square into the stone wall area. With respect to the question that Concom had, we are not putting a paved or concrete surface in the driveway. It will remain gravel. We will have to add some gravel in order to make it level, but it's not going to change in terms of material because we don't want to change the drainage. With respect, and I forget what the other comment was about Concom.
Floor remain gravel.
Oh, yeah.
And but the extent of the stone wall realignment not specified since the work area is in a buffer zone, in my opinion, the request for determination of applicability be submitted.
Right, and we will be submitting that. In fact, we wanted to make sure that we had approval here before we went and did that, the RDA with Concom, but that will be in the process. And with respect to the Board of Health, we've already agreed that we will do whatever has to be done to make the tank. If it is not H20 design, we will ensure that the slab that's reinforced gets placed over it so that it becomes H20 design.
What is H20?
Well, H20 and H10 are the two different designs that call for loading, and it has to do with trucks going over bridges, believe it or not. I don't know that much about it myself, other than there's a requirement that if you have traffic going over a concrete structure, for the most part in any septic system, they want you to have it designed with H20 design. And it's just a matter of, basically the difference in the top slab of the tank is, instead of 4 inches, it goes to 6 to 8 inches. And it's similar in reinforcement. Basically, it's stronger, and it can supposedly withstand the weight of a heavy machine or a truck going over. And we will, like I said, we will ensure that that gets taken care of.
And this tank is underneath
the gravel drive.
The gravel drive. So they clearly want this to be able to withstand the load of essentially anything you might drive into that.
Correct.
Park in that parking spot.
Right.
That seems to be pretty logical, actually.
Well, it is, and actually, I'm working with my client on behalf of her situation, in that she inherited this septic system, and we believe that it should have already been installed as an H20 design. The design calls for it, and there doesn't seem to be anybody willing to certify that it is, but we will take care of that.
So you have to dig it up and look.
Well, I've already done a casual inspection. I opened up the tank to look inside. To the best of my knowledge, it's only 4 inches in thickness at the top side. But I'm looking at just the inside of the sleeve down to the tank. Some tanks have a detent or a drop that a sleeve can fit in, and that drop may be an additional 2 inches that I didn't see.
Which reduces
inside
the apparent thickness of the top.
Right, so I have to actually dig on the outside and clear away the top and get a measurement down to the top and another measurement down to the soffit inside to confirm what the actual thickness is. But we will do that.
Can I interject here?
Better you than me.
When it was designed, the original design describes when you use an H10 and when you use an H20. The engineer that did the as-built, if it's any different than an H20, it is up to him to write that exception on the as-built plan that it's an H10 and not an H20. Nothing is indicated.
No notations were made, so you can presume that it
That's
conforms to the
H20.
drawing.
Because if it wasn't an H20, he should have put the exception as an H10. He did not. And yet the board is rumbling about this, and I can't understand.
I think we're educating ourselves. We're not rumbling.
No, not your rumbling.
I think she's talking about
I know the
Board
Board
of
of
Health.
Health is rumbling about it because they have it in their files. They have the same explanation I do on my plan, and it clearly states.
Well, the concern, I don't think it's a bad concern. I think it's valid. The concern could easily be that the previous guy who installed this maybe just forgot to make the notation.
That he forgot.
That it's an H10 or it's an H20. It wasn't noted.
Right.
And so they may have specified an H20. He might have put in an H10 and just forgotten to make the notation that it's an H10. You don't know. If this were to collapse, it would be a disaster for you.
If it was to collapse, I would have collapsed a long time ago because I've been driving on it for 20 years.
What do you drive?
A Honda.
So the next person might have a Hummer or something that weighs 10 tons, the next owner. You don't know. I don't think it's a bad concern. I think they're being very careful.
And they're being very expensive.
We're going to take care of that. We can assure you that we'll be taking care of that.
The other thing is, there's a stone wall already built adjacent to the next property, and it looks, from the plan you've submitted, it looks like it's 7.5 feet.
The original is 10 feet, and in order to get it to square off the way you see it with the darker wall, it will go down to 7.5 feet.
Oh, I see. I do see the very light print here showing the original.
Right.
So that corner is not, today that corner is not square.
It isn't. And that basically, if we had to put the carport in based on the existing wall, it would have to get shrunk down to, instead of 20 by 19, it would probably have to get shrunk down to 18 or 17 by 19. So we're just, if you look at it, the corner or the end of the wall towards the street doesn't move. We're only changing enough to get it to be squared off.
The request from the Board of Health said, we also request that a restriction be placed that mandates the structure must be temporary and can be unbolted and moved by several people.
Right.
In your judgment, this product from TNT would be of that nature, that type?
The product that they have is considered temporary, and the original design that was submitted with the 17 copies.
I think we have that.
Well, that's a generic design. And we were, at the time that was submitted, we were awaiting the specific design particular to the site.
All this stuff.
Yeah,
That's general.
that is a more generic design, and she just gave you a copy of what we received more recently, and that is specific to the site.
Any idea what it weighs?
Not much. What is it, steel?
I mean, you think
It's probably listed there somewhere. I didn't
you think
look
4
at
people
with
could pick it up and lift it? Pick it up and move it?
Depends who the 4 people are, Don.
Depends who they are. Right, I wouldn't be one of them.
The thing is designed to be placed in the spot, and I think 2 of the corners have an auger that's driven down, I think 18 inches or 20 inches. And
That's to hold it down in a
it becomes
windstorm.
bolted, it actually bolts to the bottom frame, and then there's a series of long spikes that are just driven in and bolted. But the hold downs, I guess, the design is intended to meet the wind code current now. And the person that stamped the drawing there has certified that it will.
You have a neighbor on that side of your property?
No, it's an empty lot. Oh, I shouldn't say empty, it is a shed on it.
It's not,
Not a buildable lot.
it doesn't have a dwelling on it. I don't know. What do folks think?
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, she complies with the Board of Health
Board of
requirements.
Health and Concom, sure. No new setbacks.
Just so I'm clear on something here. I make a mess with paper. What did I do with? That's Rogers. You're asking for a special permit for the carport? How about for the, wall that's even closer to the property line?
Would that be a separate, what?
How tall is the wall?
Oh, this is, the highest spot is about 2 feet high above ground.
I don't think that would constitute a structure.
No permits would be required for anything under 4 feet, so that's...
Yeah, that actually, I don't think any portion of that would ever be more than 3 feet high.
It's about 2 feet high, the wall?
Yeah, somewhere in the files, you have pictures of it. I estimate it's about 2 feet right now.
I don't think we could issue a permit for that. So he wouldn't consider it a structure. I don't know about this.
Well, there's nobody here to speak for or against. Do the board members have any further questions on this? Hearing none, is one night. Would someone care to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the application as applied for with the condition of subject to Board of Health and Concom sign off for.
Second.
Board of Health, the Board of Health is asking for the H20, and they want a restriction that it be temporary and movable, but you've confirmed that it is.
Right.
So we can put that restriction in, you said it is, so it wouldn't hurt to have that restriction, which keeps them happy.
Right. Now, one question I have, when we comply with those things, do we have to notify the zoning board, this board?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why it's subject to. Nate will confirm that those have been taken care of.
You go for a building permit, he checks, there's a checklist he goes through.
That saves you from coming back.
Good.
So let's be clear on the restrictions that we're going to put on this.
Subject to Board of Health and Concom approval.
I'd like to add with no new setbacks, because it's right on the road. Not to establish any new setbacks.
This does not establish a new setback. So you're all right with that?
Yeah, well, it's a temporary structure. I wouldn't even be concerned about it. But.
It does not establish a new setback.
Correct.
Okay.
Clarifying our bylaws.
Who made the motion? John, Dave, second?
Seconded, yep.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please.
Aye.
Aye. Not opposed. Thank you for putting up with us.
You go through all that for a cup?
Wow.
God bless.
An hour. 4 hearings.
Well, we have to earn our keep, you know. We're paid so much.
Yeah.
Makes it look like we're doing something. Do we have some minutes to go over? You've been busy with minutes, Ken.
With a high vote.
Wow, we have July.
Yeah, that's what I saw too.
Holy smoke, January, July 2018.
We have to do.
She's really taxing the memory here.
Do all three at the same time?
You folks noted the letter we got from CHAPA?
From who?
This letter that we got from CHAPA, Citizens Housing and Planning Association. They're doing their job of communicating with us that they had one refinancing request and one resale in Lakeville in 2018. I think these were at Woods Edge. So much for that. And there is a proposed bylaw amendment for us to look at regarding medical marijuana dispensaries. This is in the memo from Rita dated April 5th. You can look at that at your leisure. Have folks looked at the minutes?
Doing that now.
January, February, and July. Is this, you were getting caught up? We are caught up. Are these supposed to be posted online?
Yeah. I'm working on that.
Do you actually have to do that?
Motion to approve the July 19th.
Let's take a look carefully at the, on page 3, the card hearing. Not that I know of anything wrong with it, but don't forget, that was being appealed.
My memory is not that good.
No, nothing's.
I mean, nothing stands out, but
7 or 8 months ago.
remember it.
I wasn't there, I don't remember.
what you got up and yelled at Groundhog Day. So bad.
First colony, who's first colony?
Isn't that the 55 down there? No, it's not.
Card? Barstow.
First colony. Isn't that?
I'm content with what we said for the card hearing, that was recorded for the card hearing.
I can't remember that far back, so I'm gonna abstain from that.
I wasn't in attendance, so.
You didn't attend?
No, I did not.
I didn't either.
Everyone's backing out. You didn't?
No.
What's unusual for you?
I'm keeping my motion, I'm not
I don't
backing
remember
out.
that far back.
You seconded, right?
I'll second the motion.
All right. Then,
It's a card,
Who made a motion to do
I made a
what?
motion to accept the July,
And I seconded.
Okay. Motion made, seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please.
Aye.
Moving on to January.
Yeah, you're off these.
July 31st flyers.
Being sued for this one, aren't we? First colony.
Can you read that?
John, you missed the night sky discussion we had about the stars being blocked out for this. It's too bad.
I beg your pardon?
Well,
I'm just letting John know you missed the discussion about the night sky being blocked out.
Mike Renzi, yeah.
that was Mike here?
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
He is.
I know Mike, he's a nice guy. Yeah.
Came down
He's
to
at-
well, for the scouts, yeah.
Yeah, he lives in, what neighborhood is he live in? The one that-
Cedar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's close.
Yeah, he's close, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little observatory there.
Yeah, he does in his backyard. Mass Audible, remember that. Good.
God, the judge is going to have to read all this.
I know, Kathy, these are extensive.
This is amazing.
God bless you, Kathy.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it might influence and
We're gonna have to get you a bigger Christmas present this year than we got you last year.
Which was?
So that's not
I
gonna be
said
that tough,
bigger.
is it, Kathy?
Oh my gosh, Kathy.
How many times did you watch the tape?
I don't, I just listen to it.
Oh, God
I
bless
can't
you.
watch it, it distracts me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It makes sense to me.
I'll make a motion to accept the January meetings as submitted.
I wasn't here, so I cannot join you.
I'll second the motion.
Thanks, Dave.
This is new. These two documents. Thank you. Motion was made by Chris, was it?
Yes. Yep.
Seconded by Dave to approve the January 31st, 2019 minutes with no changes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, no. All in favor, please.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None opposed. When did we, this was the second hearing, right?
First meeting was a good one. Was that December? That's the infamous Groundhog Day meeting.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of the February 22nd,
I'll
the
second.
February 21st meeting.
Frank Curtis at the bottom. His name
They didn't appoint anybody.
He's a nice guy.
He was a nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
I'm sure he is a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know him.
No, he's, so, used to cut Ted Williams' hair.
It's awesome. You used to get my son's hair too.
How is your son? Oh, tell him not to do it.
Say this.
I said abstain.
What part is we?
Bless him.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm only kidding around. Jump right in with both feet, it'll be fine.
Refresh our memory 5 years down the line.
Where are we with the February? Somebody made,
Yeah.
He made a motion, I wasn't
I made a
here.
motion,
Mr. Vansky
Joe
has
seconded.
I second it.
Joe seconded?
Yep.
Any changes to the minutes?
Nope.
Motion was made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please.
Aye.
None opposed.
Staying.
Great. Any other business tonight?
No, sir. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you.
What?
The June meeting,
This coming June.
yes, which is 2 months away. My wife and I have tentative plans to be away on that day and be getting back like 6:30 or 7 o'clock at, like, more like 6 or 6:30 at night. And sometimes traffic interferes.
Janice can chair.
Yeah, I make a motion, Janice Chess.
I'll second
Yeah,
that.
I'll go on with that. All in
It's
favor?
Dave's responsibility, I know that.
We can change it up right now.
I'd like to explore looking for an alternate date, maybe the Tuesday like we did tonight. But I'm hoping that Kathy will have a chance soon to explore if this room is available or if there's an alternate room we can use.
So
But
what
it's
would
2 months
be-
away, that'll be in June.
What is the
Whatever
ultimate
happens.
date would be?
June 18th. Janice will kick in either way, so it's fine.
So,
I'm fine.
so I'm going to email this question so people can look at their,
Yeah, the 18th is fine with me at this point, even
Yeah.
if you need to bump it to the following Thursday, it's fine with me at this point.
I read through those medical marijuana earlier before the meeting, and if Katie Loughran, she's been meeting with the Triple C since their inception, so if she wrote it with Amy, I'm fine with anything that they put in there, so it looked all good to me.
have you been to the, what's the board in Boston that deals with?
Triple C, cannabis.
The Cannabis
Is Kate
Control
Doyle
Commission?
still running that? You guys remember Kate?
Yes. Oh, yeah, she's Miss Marijuana.
Is she really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw her at the MIIA conference this year. Yeah,
She was awesome.
she is,
Yeah.
she knows her stuff.
Yeah.
When she was our rep for town council, which goes back a long time,
Not that long, Don, come on.
didn't she have her first kid and we gave her a present?
I think she did
think
have
we
her
did.
first
She did have her
kid.
first kid.
I think
but
his name was Jack, right? Do you see her? Ask her.
I'll ask her. I mean, maybe I'd bump into her once or twice
Ask her
a
how
year.
Jack
but
is.
Jack.
Little.
I think it was Jack, the first boy.
I can
She was
remember.
cute.
I should be able to remember Jack.
Do we have any other business tonight? Meeting adjourned.